Hello, my friends. Welcome back to another episode of The Basics of Balance. My name is Ariella. I am your host, and I am so excited to dive into today's topic. I have quite a long list of topics that I'm really excited to cover on this show, and I just keep adding to it because, whether I'm talking to a client and they inspire me on something that I could talk about, or, I'm overhearing something that, a friend or a family member is talking about that I'm like, I should talk about that to kind of set the record straight. I have so many topics that I'm so excited to kind of go over, and the majority of kind of what we've been covering so far has been pretty psychologically based, I'll call it, okay? And that is for a reason, okay? I'm a really big believer that a lot of your fitness journey and your ability to show up, right, to create the change that you want to see has a lot more to do with your psychology and has less to do with knowing what to do, right? And so all of that to say, if you never make it to one of the end of these episodes, no judgment. However, I want to hear from you, okay? So if there is something that you want me to cover, maybe something you've seen online or you've heard that you want me to kind of like dig in to help you in your journey, or if you have a question on something that I've said that an answer might help you in your journey, there is a form in the caption or the description of this episode and every episode so that you can submit questions or topics or, whatever the case is, so that I can make sure that yes, okay, this is something I enjoy doing to, again, help us kind of cut through all the stuff that we see online, but also I want it to be a resource for you, okay? So if there's something that, I can cover that helps you, let's talk about it, okay? But in kind of, again, laying the framework for understanding how much of our fitness journey and our ability to see progress and be successful and whatnot has more to do with your headspace, your mindset is going to make or break you, okay? It's not necessarily so much about knowing what to do, and instead it's knowing how to apply what you should do, okay? Many of you listening to this show, you know what you should be doing. And if you don't know what you should be doing, I'm so glad you're here so that I can help, kind of simplify the process to you, okay, or for you. But many of you listening, you know what you should be doing. It's not a matter of knowing what you should be doing. We are in the information age. If you don't know what you should do, it's a simple Google search, right? The issue, the challenge comes from the application side of things, okay? So it's not so much about, okay, if I'm trying to, build muscle, I need to make sure that I'm eating enough food, eating enough protein, strength training, rest days, things like that. Okay, cool. So then when you maybe have a day where you don't feel like eating your protein, okay, what's the issue there? You know what you're supposed to do. Just because you don't feel like it and now you're not going to hit your protein, you see what I'm saying? Like, it's not a matter of knowing what to do. It's our feelings come into play. Our perception of what's hard comes into play, and that matters, okay? Our past experiences help shift, or I should say our past experiences help shape our future experiences, right? And so your intentions behind your actions, your intentions behind why your goals matter to you in the first place, that is going to matter. It's going to matter greatly. And if they do not come from a deep enough place, it is going to be really hard for you to come up to obstacles and hurdles that you will face in your fitness journey over and over and over again, and be strong enough to say, man, this is really hard. I don't want to do this. I don't feel like doing this. This is taking longer than I thought it would be. This is harder than I thought it would be. All valid, thoughts and feelings. It's going to be hard for you to have any of those and still choose to do what you know you should do. Choose to apply what you know you should do, okay? Many times, for example, it's so annoying how simple it sounds when I say something like, if you are trying to lose fat or weight, you have to be in a calorie deficit. Oh, okay, be in a calorie deficit. So how about those times when you're hungry at night and you don't want to go to bed hungry? How about those times when, you're going out to eat and, you accidentally ordered something that was 1,000 calories? You see what I'm saying? Like, it has less to do with any of those specifics and how simple it can be to just say, oh, you just have to be in a calorie deficit. Okay, but what about? What about when things happen, when life comes, right? Challenges and whatnot. In my professional experience, having a goal that's purely based on aesthetics, that is purely based on, I'm trying to lose fat, and or weight. I'm trying to tone up, right? I'm trying to, change my appearance in any way, shape, or form. That is not a deep enough reason for you to come up to obstacle after obstacle after obstacle and still be strong enough to stand up to those obstacles, okay? And still be strong enough to say, man, don't feel like it, don't want to, but here I go anyway, all right? However, when your intention behind why your goals matter to you come from a deeper place, such as, hey, I want to set a good example for my kids, right? I want to teach them the basics of nutrition by them watching me, right, implement those basics so that they get curious and they ask questions so that I can explain it to them, so that I am setting them up to essentially start their life and, or not start their life, but, continue on throughout their life by making those balanced choices to help them improve their overall health, their quality of life, things like that, to avoid a lot of the struggles that I'm going through, right? Maybe a deep enough reason is, hey, I have been dealing with digestive issues my entire life, okay? And so I am sick of it. I am sick of feeling this way, and I'm ready to do something about it, right? Something deeper is going to help you continue to find ways to show up and do your best, because that's really what it is at the end of the day, right? Showing up just simply means you are doing something. You are depositing into the changes that you want to see, the lifestyle that you want, the results you're working for. You are depositing, and you are depositing as often as you can. It doesn't matter if that deposit is huge or small, it's just something, okay? So that's all showing up means. So anytime you hear me say that, I don't mean showing up as far as like, okay, you got to work out every single day and you got to, eat these foods and things like that. You showing up is going to look different every day. Every single day has its own set of challenges and also opportunities. Holding yourself to one standard despite those different challenges or opportunities is just not fair. That is, it's just not fair to you, right? Not fair to you, not fair to your effort, any of that. And so knowing that also each day and also each situation is going to have its unique set of challenges and opportunities, we need to learn showing up is going to look different based on that. Some days you're going to have 10%, some days you're going to have 100%. Those both equal the exact same amount of effort. If you only have 10% and you gave that, you just gave 100%. You know what I mean? So anyways, all of that to say, knowing why your goals matter to you is going to help you overcome objections, or obstacles, I should say. I ask sometimes to my clients, why do you care? Right? Why do you care? When I'm working with a newer client and we have our intake call, and of course I want to know about your goals, right? So that I know how to guide you and support you. But I also want to know why your goals matter to you. Why do you care about losing 10 pounds? How is that going to improve your quality of life? Because sometimes we don't even have answers to those questions. And that makes us think, yeah, you know what? Why do I care about losing 10 pounds? Is it because I think I'm going to be happier, more accepted, healthier? Like, what's the reason behind why you care about what you care about, right? Protein, for example. Protein is, I think I'm starting to get sick of that word, if I'm being honest with you, because so many people hear that word and it's beating a dead horse. But anyways, it's very important. I'm not going to stop talking about it because it's important. Sidebar. So protein, for example. Why do you care about eating protein? What does protein do for you? What does it help improve your quality of life in any way, shape, or form? Yeah, it's going to help you see changes, whether that's overall health or physical, but why do you care about protein? Because that why, that question, needs to be strong enough for when you're going out to eat and you want to order the pizza, and sometimes, yes, order the pizza. You want to order the pizza, but you know you should be ordering this other meal that is going to help you hit your protein numbers. So your reasoning is going to give you a deeper ability to shift your focus to what you can do, what you can control, and be proud of that. Be proud of giving that effort towards that, right? I will say, I'll share with you some of my intentions as to why I choose to eat healthy and balanced, why I choose to prioritize strength training, why I choose to walk daily, why I choose to prioritize sleep and make sure that I'm hydrated, okay? Those are some foundational habits that we'll kind of get into in the coming weeks to kind of give you structure throughout your day to help you kind of, shift your focus to what you can do each day. But some of my reasons to stay active is my mental health. Okay, I have struggled with anxiety and depression as long as I can remember. I'm sure many of you listening struggle with that as well, right? There's so much of that in our culture nowadays, but I'm a big believer that what you eat affects how you feel, right? What you eat affects your physical health will affect your mental health, and what you eat has a direct result on your gut health, and your gut is essentially your second brain, right? So if your gut's all out of whack based on what you're eating, well then how do you expect your brain to not follow suit with that, right? With that understanding, knowing your gut's your second brain, okay? And also, what I eat is going to affect my energy, okay? It's going to affect, therefore, my ability to say, man, I am exhausted, and therefore I'm choosing to, skip my workout, which is a great choice. If you're not sleeping great, if you're exhausted and lethargic, great choice. Proud of you, okay? That's a solid choice. Let's try to get some sleep to, find a workout in the future, but great choice. And so a lot of the intentions behind why I choose to stay active and eat healthy come from a place of I can tell a huge difference in my mental health and my energy when I'm doing the things versus when I'm not doing the things, okay? And so it's very second nature to me at this point. It is a habit to, eat balanced and eat enough protein and, yada yada, restraint, workout, all of those things. It's not something that I think about if I'm going to do it. It's just a matter of when I'm going to do it kind of thing, if that makes sense. But it wasn't always that way, okay? And how it kind of shifted to, no, this is something I'm choosing, even if it's the harder choice, is because I saw such a drastic difference in those two areas of my life, right? My mental health and also my energy, my physical health. I also think too, a lot of times, when we are not eating the best, we also typically have a lot of other issues that it's not that we don't know are stemming from our eating habits and our lifestyle and whatnot, but I don't think that we are paying attention to it to a certain point that we can pinpoint. That, hey, what you eat is going to affect things like digestion, okay? And it is not normal for you to be gassy. It is not normal for you to be bloated. It is not normal for you to be constipated or have diarrhea. And this might be TMI for you, but you got to understand, I work with the human body every single day, so it's not TMI for me, okay? So anyways, all that to say, what you eat has a direct effect on that, right? Your digestion. And your digestion, in my opinion, that also affects your quality of life, right? When I was younger, I struggled with a lot of digestive issues. And I didn't know it at the time, but those digestive issues stemmed from, number one, I was just eating crap 24/7. And number two, because I was eating crap, I didn't feel great, and I kind of fell into the habit of binge eating, okay? And so I would not eat a whole lot throughout the day, only to eat my body weight in whatever I could get my hands on, and in college, whatever is hyper palatable, right? And also whatever you can afford. So ramen noodles, Oreos, chips, things like that. Well, I developed a lot of digestive issues as a result, and so I learned, that was kind of, the jumping off point, if you will. I learned how much of what you eat does affect your quality of life, whether that's your mental health, whether that's your physical health, or systems such as digestive systems that affect your quality of life, right? And so those are some of my intentions. I want to make sure I'm eating enough fiber to keep things regular, because if I'm not regular, I feel like crap. And also, sidebar, I'm not as hungry, and therefore I'm not eating as much food, and that's sad, okay? Food is the joy of my life. And so I want to make sure I'm eating enough fiber for those reasons, right? Protein. I want to make sure I'm eating enough protein, because when I am eating enough protein, not only am I more satisfied, right? Because when we don't eat enough protein, we are hungrier as a result of not eating enough protein. There is a direct relationship between those two. And so when we don't eat enough protein, we are hungrier by nature. And typically, when we eat more food, we also fill up on not things that help us feel our best at the same time, okay? So eating enough protein to me is important because it helps me control how much I'm eating and also control what I'm eating, okay? Secondary reason as to why protein matters to me is it helps fuel my lifts, okay? I predominantly do strength training as my first choice of exercise. And when you are lifting weights, you need to make sure that you're eating enough protein to not only get stronger, right, but to build muscle or to even just preserve muscle, okay, because we're losing muscle as we age. And so if I'm lifting weight, but I'm not eating enough food, if I'm lifting weight, but I'm not eating enough protein, I'm not going to get stronger. I'm not going to even preserve the muscle that I have, let alone build muscle, right? And so, again, understanding kind of why what you do matters is going to help you, give you a little bit of encouragement, right, to show up for yourself. So when I am planning my meals or when I am going out to eat, I am prioritizing those things. I am prioritizing something that has protein and fiber. And if I can't prioritize protein and fiber in that meal, how can I offset that choice throughout the rest of my day, right? Maybe, if we're going out to pizza at night, okay, well then I'm going to prioritize protein and fiber throughout my entire day, knowing I'm having pizza at night, knowing I'm probably going to spend quite a lot of calories, and those calories are going to have little protein and likely no fiber. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's kind of just taking a step back and saying, why do I care about my goals? And of those goals, what do I need to do? And if those goals matter to me with a deep enough intention, it's going to give me a little bit of encouragement to say, okay, handle your day accordingly. See what I'm saying? But my goal is to eat protein. My goal is to walk every single day. My goal is to lift 3 to 4 times a week. My goal is to do those things, is to improve my overall quality of life. It's based on how do I want to feel every single day, okay? And so I would encourage you, as you are chasing whatever goal you have, how are the habits and the actions required to reach those goals, how are those helping you feel, right? How is that affecting how you feel every single day? Is it improving your overall quality of life? Because if so, pay attention to that. Because every single time that you can pay attention to, when I do this, I feel better, that is giving you a deeper reason, a deeper intention to continue doing that, right? So if we can slow down and kind of pay attention to, hey, these choices are really making an impact, on my health and my energy and things like that, you're going to give yourself more reasons to continue those actions long after the infatuation of starting a goal fizzles out, because that will happen, okay? I'm going to tell you guys a little story. Last fall, I traveled quite a bit. I went to Thailand for 2 weeks, and then a week after that, I went to Banff, Canada, with some girlfriends. So I was on the beach for 2 weeks and halfway across the world, and then 2 weeks later, I was on mountains, all right? So when I was traveling, 2 weeks in Asia. If you have ever been to Asia, you know that not only is it truly the opposite end of the world from America, that is, but their culture is very different, very, very different, right? And I just said that I have a history of digestive issues, okay? And so with that being said, I am really hyper aware of the things that I need to do at this point in my life to help, keep those issues at bay, right? And so when I'm on vacation, especially a once in a lifetime trip, of course I want to feel my best, right? Because in my opinion, when you're feeling your best, you're getting more out of those days. You're able to take chances. You're able to look for opportunities to, create experiences and memories with your people and things like that, right? On the flip side, if you're not feeling great, I kind of just want to lay on the beach all day or stay in bed all day. Anyways, that's my point. So when I was going to Thailand, I was very cognizant of the fact that they probably do not eat the way that I eat, okay? So how do I need to handle myself based on that information? So anytime I travel, I always bring what I need. What I need is usually protein supplements and also some kind of form of fiber supplement, okay? Lately, my go-to has been bringing Catalina Crunch because it checks the box of protein and also fiber. And then when you bring Catalina Crunch, no matter if you're going to another country or, just somewhere else, if you also go to the store and get some Greek yogurt, that's a really easy option to get, protein and fiber in one meal. And Greek yogurt also has some probiotics in it. So anyways, there's a little tidbit for you. But when I was in Thailand, I brought a bunch of protein supplements, even some like meat sticks, things that are easy to bring with you, right? Anytime I'm bringing protein supplements, I pre-portion protein powder into Ziploc bags so that I know how much I'm having. And then also it's really travel friendly. You can wrap those protein bags in one blender bottle. And it doesn't take up a whole lot of space, right? Instead of bringing like protein shakes or things like that. So I brought a bunch of protein powder. I also brought some meat sticks, and I brought my Catalina Crunch along with things such as electrolytes, because first of all, Thailand's very warm. Second of all, hydration still matters. And part of the reason why we kind of feel puffy when we travel is because we're dehydrated. And water helps digestion, right? Water helps kind of keep things moving along and helping you feel your best. And then the other thing that I brought was my greens and my reds, okay? I don't necessarily take greens and reds every day like I used to, but especially when I'm going out of, the country, especially when I don't know kind of what I'm going to be eating, I want to make sure that I'm supporting my body, right? And so I brought all of those things. And when I was there, I very much was cognizant of, okay, this is not enough to help me hit my protein targets. So when I was there, we went to the store a few times and I stocked up on things like I said, Greek yogurt and eggs. There was a little shop on the ground level of one of the Airbnbs we were staying at Kamala Beach in Phuket, and it was a French shop that offered egg white omelets. So I stopped and I got some egg white omelet every single morning, coupled it with the stuff that I brought, and then for every single meal, I just tried to eat some protein-rich options. I knew I essentially took care of my fiber, my hydration, my greens. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm cognizant of these things, but I also did not turn down pad thai. I also did not turn down the burger that we found at this burger place while we were there, right? Like, my intention behind why I'm choosing to do that is not coming from a place of, oh my gosh, I can't do this because if I do this, I'm going to ruin progress or results, or I'm going to feel guilty, or I did something wrong. It's not coming from a place of guilt and shame, right? It's coming from a place of, how do I want to feel? Do you see what I'm saying? Intentions. They are very different, okay? One person can log their food with the intention of just trying to check boxes, right, to change their appearance, and another person can try to log their food with the intention of seeing how much they can eat within their targets to help them fuel their life so that they can feel their best every single day, right? Logging to help them see where their opportunity lies rather than logging to see their limitation, okay? And keeping them in a box. Also, I worked out regularly while I was there. Everywhere that we went, we stayed at a hotel and a couple of Airbnbs, but everywhere we went had a gym. And so again, working out is just it's a habit. It's not something I think about. It's just, oh, it's another day. Is it a rest day or a workout day? Things like that. And working out to me was a way to, number one, keep me grounded, because you are in a very different place in Thailand. And also you're halfway across the country. So like, hello, jet lag is alive and real. You know what I mean? Like literally 12-hour different. And so working out to me came more from a place of helping ground myself, but also helping me feel my best in terms of providing energy, right? And stimulating my muscles by lifting weight to help me be hungrier, because muscle requires food, okay? And if you are stimulating your muscles, you're gonna be hungrier. And hey, I'm trying to live my best life. And when I'm in Asia, again, I want the pad thai, okay? I just want it. So do you see how that reasoning really helped me stick to my habits while I was in Thailand? I didn't necessarily sacrifice. I remember I enjoyed Indian food on the Indian Ocean. It was incredible. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not gonna not give myself things that I know is gonna help me look back on this trip feeling my best, but I'm also going to do things that help me look back knowing that I really enjoyed myself on the trip, right? And it wouldn't have been a big deal if I didn't work out. It wouldn't have been a big deal if I didn't hit my protein or things like that, but I know myself, and I know that if I didn't do those things, I wouldn't feel as great. And a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, why would you not want to do those things, as far as I'm concerned, When I was in Banff, this is my last little story, but I'm trying to kind of help you see, exactly what I'm saying. So no need to beat a dead horse, right? I was in Banff a couple of weeks later, okay? And I was still pretty jet lagged, I would say. And I also, headspace was weird after Thailand. I think it was because of the time difference that changed a couple of times in the last, in a 2-week time frame. But I was getting ready to go to Banff, and I don't even think I unpacked my suitcase from Thailand, but I just started packing like mountain clothes. So instead of beach clothes and whatnot, I started packing, my poles and leggings and stuff like that, right? And so same as it relates to going to a different trip, right? I still packed similar things. I packed my Catalina. I packed my protein powder with my greens and my hydration sticks and my, blender bottle and all of that stuff. And so when I remember it was we flew in at night. We flew into Calgary at night, and where we were staying was in Golden, I believe, which was like 2 or 3 hours away from the airport. And so we had decided, my group of girlfriends, we had decided to stay at a hotel that was right by the airport. And then the next day we were going to start traveling, to our first Airbnb, stop at some, places along the way. And so the first morning we woke up, we were at the hotel, and there's a continental breakfast, right? And I wasn't really that hungry, but that was kind of like our window of opportunity to eat. And so I would rather eat something knowing, okay, I'm going to fill up versus be starving all day long and end up eating, again, way more than I intended. And feel like crap as a result. And so the next morning we were at breakfast, and I think I loaded my plate with like 7 hard-boiled eggs. I'm thinking about it because it was either 7 or 10, but it was a lot, okay, no matter how you spin it. It was either 7 or 10 hard-boiled eggs. Because of my past digestive issues, I have learned my body can't process yolks, and so I can only have egg whites. I can't have yolks. So when I'm having something egg-based, like a hard-boiled egg or, a poached egg or something like that, I take out the yolks. And so 7 eggs looks like a lot, but really when you take out the yolks, it didn't really look that like that much. But I was sitting across from one of my girlfriends, and she looked at me almost confused. And she looked at me and she was like, "See, I can't do that." And I was like, "What do you mean? What are you talking about?" She was like, "See, I can't do that. I can't just like eat all of those egg whites. Like I have to have something else that I enjoy." And I said, "Okay, but listen, I'm not eating this because I enjoy it. Please believe I am not eating continental breakfast style hard-boiled eggs. I'm only eating the egg whites in the morning when I'm still kind of jet lagged from my last trip, and I'm not even hungry. I'm not doing any of that because I enjoy it. Not at all, okay? But I enjoy how I feel when I do it." Do you see what I'm saying? There are different levels of enjoyment, okay? So are we eating something because it brings a certain level of enjoyment for a few minutes, right? Or are we eating something because it brings a certain level of enjoyment for a few hours or a few days, okay? So I told her, I'm not eating this because I enjoy it. I'm eating it because if I eat this, I'm going to feel good. If I eat this, I'm going to get more out of my day. If I eat this, X, Y, and Z, right? But it's not because I look at this and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, these hard-boiled eggs, they just look so delicious." Hello, come on, you know what I mean? And I think we confuse a lot of that oftentimes, as far as when you see people make certain choices, they got their own reasons, you know what I mean? Like they have their own reasons, and that's going to differ from person to person. And so all of that to say, it really does come back to a place of, I could have chosen to have a Pop-Tart during that breakfast, but I would not feel great afterwards. I would be hungrier, or I should say I would be hungry a few minutes after I ate it. And because we had a 3-hour drive, then I would be starving. I know myself, that's why I can say it. I would be starving, and then when we stopped for lunch, I would probably choose something with my stomach, not my head, right? And because I would choose something with my stomach, it would also probably just be really full of things that don't help me feel my best, and also don't provide a lot of fiber and nutrition and things like that, which again comes down to everything I've been saying. So I hope that this has kind of helped you see, if you are trying to lose weight, you're gonna have to make some sacrifices. You're gonna have to make some choices, okay? You are going to have to deal with hunger sometimes, okay? And that's not easy to do. You are gonna have to do things that other people don't necessarily have to do, right? You are going to have to prioritize exercise and protein and stay in a calorie deficit, and it's going to be more effort, but it is a phase of your journey. It's not supposed to be the journey. Get in, put that effort in, and then get out, right? And so if you are going to have to make those sacrifices and choices, is your reasoning as to why trying to lose weight or fat matters to you big enough to overcome those challenges time after time after time? It is not easy, you guys. It is going to be harder than you thought it was going to be. It is going to take longer than you thought it was going to take. It will be worth it though at the end of the day, okay? If your goal is to build muscle, that is a goal, in my opinion, that helps you focus on the abundance side of things, okay? When you are trying to eat less, move more, you are trying to eat as little as you can, you are trying to move as much as you can, and you eat food because you think you have to, but you don't necessarily want to, right? When you are trying to build muscle, and that is the primary goal, it can help you shift focus to say, man, how much can I eat? What can I get away with? You know what I mean? It helps you kind of reshift your headspace away from, what can I remove to what can I get away with? So again, same action as far as having a pulse on what you're eating, but the intention behind that action is very different, and it's going to therefore affect your ability to show up and overcome challenges as a result. And so I think that's kind of all I had for you guys regarding intentions and whatnot. So, as it relates to your own personal journey, again, if there is any question that you have as far as like, hey, my goal is to, build muscle, but I'm having a really hard time finding, protein sources, or when I go out to eat, things like that. Hey, let's hear it, okay? Again, the form to submit any questions or topics is in the caption of this episode, but I appreciate you guys spending the last few minutes with me. We will look forward to the next time, and I hope that this was helpful for you. I hope this helped give you a little bit of insight and also take some pressure off of yourself as far as, again, your ability to show up in your journey has less to do with your self-control or willpower, and it has more to do with why can't I say that, guys? It's been a whole episode and I still can't say that word. The psychology side of your goals, okay? Your mindset will make or break you. And if your intentions behind your actions, if your intentions behind your goals and why your goals matter to you don't come from a deep enough place, you're going to have a hard time creating a strong enough mindset to withstand and overcome challenge after challenge after challenge. It will be challenging until it's not. And the only way to make something that was once a struggle no longer a struggle is time and repetition. So get to understand why your goals matter to you so that you have an easier time showing up for yourself, so you can build that time and repetition so that it's no longer as challenging for you. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Don't forget to rate the show if you like what you hear. Don't forget to subscribe so that you can be one of the first to know when the next episode launches or lands or whatever you're supposed to call it, okay? Have a wonderful rest of your day, guys.